This is unbelievable. If the Cleveland Cavaliers want to take this next step and stop getting eliminated in the first round, in the second round, and actually go to the conference finals and the finals, or possibly win a championship, the only players that are untouchable are Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley in that starting lineup, because Darius Garland, every single elimination game he has had in his career in the playoffs, 11 points, 4 for 16. 11 points, 4 for 17, 12 points, 3 for 13. Is he going on world tour? Because these are tour dates right here. Is this Drake going on tour? No, this is a point guard that is supposed to be an all-star. No, an absolute scrub. And cone on defense. Offensively, inefficient. It's time to get rid of him. I said prior to the year, the Cavaliers should explore a trade surrounding Darius Garland to the Timberwolves, since the Timberwolves had interest in him, for possibly Naz Reid and Jaden McDaniels. And if the Cavs had to add a little bit something, then add Jared Allen if you need to. Add whatever you needed to that wasn't Evan Mobley or Donovan Mitchell to get that deal done. The lineup would have looked like, Donovan Mitchell and, Max Strus, let's say, who I'm going to get into in a bit, with Jaden McDaniels, Naz Reid, and Mobley. That lineup gets you to the finals. It's getting the Timberwolves to the finals, and they're in the Western Conference, which is significantly more stacked than the Eastern Conference. Would have matched up way better against the Pacers. But no, let's run it back with the same guys. Well, guess what? You keep running it back, you'll have the same thing happen over and over. And look at that, Jared Allen. The lights were too bright yet again. 11 points and 6 rebounds in the last 2 games of the second round. When the lights are brightest, when the pressure is on, Jared Allen is like the Avatar. He vanishes. My man, when the lights are bright, he is nowhere to be found. Never count on Jared Allen. If he was insurance, you would definitely not be covered. So, ship out Jared Allen. The Lakers need a big man. Rui and Austin Reeves, head down here, man, because it seems like you guys can actually hit your jumpers. Meanwhile, Jared Allen can't even rebound as a big man. The Lakers are desperate. Please get something done. Jared Allen has that all-star caliber label on him. Maybe Rob Pelinka will fall for it, but Jared Allen, I think, eventually we all knew Evan Mobley would slide in as the center. He's been great. Evan Mobley, he definitely took a leap. I will say that. He's literally the only player I will not be talking poorly about, in this video for the Cavs, because even Donovan Mitchell, in the clutch, you get 3 free throws. You miss all 3. Now, the thing about it, before you extended with the Cavs, are the Cavs good enough for Donovan Mitchell to stay? Well, is Donovan Mitchell good enough for that contract? Because, yes, it's great. You got us the first seed. Yeah, you've done that with Utah tons of times. You come over here, you won a championship. But you've came in and you've had, a couple goes at it. 3 times you've taken us to the playoffs, bravo. And all 3 times we have crashed out tremendously. The only one I'll give you a pass for is Boston, because we should have never really gone through Boston and there is injuries. But the Knicks won the first time. We've got Jared Allen saying the lights were too bright. Donovan Mitchell, you played all right, but you have to put us into the next level. Losing in 5, man. Losing in 5. And then if you really check his efficiencies, I got into it on Twitter. Somebody was like, Donovan Mitchell's averaging this. Well, Donovan Mitchell's taking all the shots, man. So eventually some are going to fall. And Donovan Mitchell knows when the 3 ball isn't really falling, he's just going to drive in and try to get some fouls. That's literally Donovan Mitchell's game. And I'm getting absolutely tired of his jumper not falling. When Donovan Mitchell's jumper isn't falling, the Cavs team just absolutely crashes out, especially in the playoffs. And we saw that happen. And we were talking about Evan Mobley needs to take the next step. He did take the next step, and in the whole fourth quarter, we are not giving Evan Mobley anything. He's the most efficient guy on the court. The offense is supposed to flow through him like it's been all year, but you guys got desperate. That's the problem. There's no patience. But Max Strus, man, Jesus, you texted the group chat. If you don't believe, don't show up to work. Well, clearly you took your own advice, because you didn't show up to work. No, not worse than that. You showed up and didn't believe. 0 for 9. 0 for 9. And the crazy thing is, Kenny Atkinson, is you've got a guy 0 for 9. You put in Ty Jerome. He starts hitting his jumpers. DeAndre Hunter's playing well. Those guys aren't getting as much minutes as Strus when everything's on the line, and Strus couldn't buy a bucket. Strus couldn't even get a bucket for donation. They could have opened up the lane for him, and he would have done a step back contest, a fadeaway air ball. That's how bad he was shooting. Max Strus, to be talking all that, trying to motivate people, saying, yeah, man, don't show up if you don't believe. They're gonna, wow, you absolutely were one of the worst players I've seen in the brink of elimination, man. The Pacers should build you a statue because we have Tyrese Halliburton back-to-back conference finals appearances. That shows you the talent that's in the East. Back-to-back conference finals appearances because Max Strus went 0 for 9. Evan Mobley, you get a pass. Jared Allen, the lights were too bright. Darius Garland, cone offense and defense, can't make a shot. Your field goal percentages are looking like tour dates. And then we've got Donovan Mitchell can't hit a free throw. Ty Jerome gets nerfed in the playoffs. And then DeAndre Hunter, you were meh. You were meh. That's what I'm going to say. You were meh. Sam Merrill, meh. We had Tristan Thompson minutes. When you've lost the series, when you've got Tristan Thompson minutes in Big 2025, man. But anyways, if the Cleveland Cavaliers genuinely wanted to be serious, they should have gone out. We're literally seeing the New York Knicks got the formula, and so do the Pacers. You've got your guard, you've got your big man, Halliburton and Miles Turner. How we have Mitchell and Mobley. Those are the guys you build around. You've got, Karl Anthony Towns and Brunson, and you surround them with 3 and D guys all around the roster. Those are, your playmakers. Those are the guys that are going to get you those tough buckets when everything's on the line. But you surround them with 3 and D. And you've got Darius Garland is neither a 3 or a D. You've got Max Strus wasn't a 3 or a D, Jared Allen is not a 3, and apparently his hustle was not a D. It's just you got to make these moves. You've got to make these moves. And Naz Reid and Jaden McDaniels on the West are showing 3 and D. 3 and D. That's why we really missed out. Absolutely, the Cavs would be right now in the conference finals if they would have made that trade. And everybody called me a madman. But anyways, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on what you think. Should the Cavs blow up the team aside from Mitchell and Mobley? Personally, I've been wanting this before the year. And they got the 1 seed. Everybody said I was a madman. But now look who's laughing now.